Gamescom 2017. It is going down all day long here, day one of Gamescom. We have Adam, who is going to be talking to us about Pro Evolution Soccer 2018. I am excited. We also have, for the first time ever, Lothar is joining us on stage. Lothar, how'd you come about to joining me on stage? A lot of people want this opportunity, and you just like stepped up.
Well, that was just randomly, you know.
Nice.
Twitch was like, oh, dude, we want you here. I'm like, okay, I'm going to do that. This time I'm not going to do Hearthstone events, so I'm going to do Twitch casting.
Okay.
Something like that.
Nice. And now you're here. I mean, obviously, you were talking about, you go back to the N64 days of Pro Evolution Soccer.
Oh, yeah. 1997, Nintendo 64, Pro Evolution Soccer. Back then, still named International Superstar
ISS, yeah,
Soccer.
of course, yeah.
It was a fantastic game, and I can't wait to lay my hands on the new PES.
Well, now we're traveling 20 years into the future. Games changed a bit.
Just a little bit, yeah. Things look a little bit different. We're now on PS4, Xbox One, brand new platforms. But for sure, I think it's great to hear you say that, because the reason why PES is still being talked about after all these years, with such a fierce rivalry in this genre, with only 2 football games. And it's great that PES is still here, you know, without the budgets, but it's got the heritage, you know, without the big marketing spend, but it's got that quality. And we have to differentiate, we have to be different. And it's great to hear stories like that, because that's certainly the kind of people that are still sticking with us and still playing PES.
I mean, and it's a franchise that has lasted over 20 years.
Exactly, yeah. So we're going to be here for a while. and, you know, PES 18 is a game which has been in development for like 3 years now, where we've really worked on the visual, the animation. And one thing that we've been saying, actually, to a lot of people is that even though PES 18 is 3 years in the making, it's the start of a new 3-year cycle. So PES 19 and 20 that you'll see is going to be a big jump every year, and that's something that we're committed to. And it's nice to hear that as well when you got a series, you know, like I mentioned, a fierce rivalry, and people sometimes be concerned, you know, are these guys thinking long term? Is it year by year? But for, you know, for sure, we've got the amazing fans. They talk about our past, and they're still with us. And it's just great for them to hear us say, hey guys, we've got a long-term plan. We're already planning for next year and the year after, and we're really going to do some crazy stuff.
So what changed this year? What will be, I mean, next year, 2018?
He's already hyping up future games. Let's talk about this year's game.
Okay, wait. Yeah, let's get PES 18 out of the way. So I think we're going to watch some gameplay here as well, where you're going to be able to see the amazing visuals in the game. And one thing that we've really, I wouldn't say struggled with, but it's been a learning process, is obviously, you know, working with Fox Engine. So Fox Engine is an engine which has been built for a 3D action adventure game, which we've adapted towards a football game. And the most difficult thing about that is just being able to find the right systems, the right tools that are third party, that would work better with Fox year in, year out, with the fact that Fox is being iterated on year in, year out. So one thing that you'll see straight away in that tunnel scene, and as the players come out, is brand new play models, brand new visuals. Even the stadium is the Camp Nou, which is exclusive in PES. We actually went to Barcelona. We took loads of scanning gear. We got a little drone out, and we took a full 3D render of the stadium, inside and out. So when the players came out, they came from the tunnel. You can see the surrounding area as well. You're seeing a little bit of the new presentation here as well, where you've got the new player images, real player images coming on the screen, which, you know, PES hasn't had before. And then as you go through this, you'll see the players warming up as well. But as soon as the game starts, you'll see it completely different from last year. The lighting and the visuals are just completely new. Nighttime lighting is one of those super difficult things as well to get right. It can be too dark sometimes, but we've got the actual stadium lit as it is actually in real life. We actually had the scanning done in daytime and at nighttime when we went to go visit Barcelona. So yeah, it is
a lot of effort, I would say.
A lot of effort, but you know what? We've been signing all these partnership teams. We obviously, you got 2 of them here, Liverpool and Borussia Dortmund. Barcelona I've mentioned. We've announced Valencia and Fulham. We've announced a bunch of Latin American teams, Corinthians, Flamengo, Boca, River, fantastic names in the world of football. And this is what we want to do. We want to go, we want to really replicate these teams authentically, go into their stadium. I know I'm kind of flowing a little bit, but one of the things that we announced actually regarding the 2 teams that you see here is legend players, and that's been kind of a big topic for us this year.
Sure, yeah.
And for Liverpool's case, we announced Robbie Fowler, Michael Owen,
Fowler!
left foot magic, Ian Rush, yeah, and Michael Owen. So we got those 3. We announced 5 Dortmund legend players such as Lars Ricken, who some users might know, scored in the Champions League final against Juventus many years ago, so he's really famous. Karl-Heinz Riedler, who played in Germany, played in the UK. So all these names, even when I heard about them, I was like, who? But it means a lot. It means a lot to the people, local people as well. And I think the big one, something that we're leading with, which has got a lot of interest, is we've gone and signed David Beckham.
Yeah, that guy. He used to play football, right?
Yeah, he's kind of he played everywhere. That's the beauty of Beckham. I mean, he actually played in a majority of different countries. Obviously, finished in the US as well. Didn't play in Germany. Actually, it's funny that we're here, but he played in all the European leagues aside from that. And we've signed a long-term deal with him, and it's really for us to, I think. Oof! What a volley!
Beautiful shot.
Nice. Beautiful. Trying to bend it like Beckham, nearly on point. Nearly on point.
I have to say, the mechanics are looking really great when it comes to the animations. Like,
fantastic, yeah.
It's very natural.
Yeah, I think. Well, in terms of the 3 year in development, the animation system was something that we spent a lot of time on. Now, of those 3 years that we took, that was the most difficult one and the most time consuming, because if you compare it to last year, what we did was, nearly, what a save. Oh, he's celebrating. No, he just realized.
See, I love that.
Even I thought it was in.
That's what I do. Like, I'll shoot a goal, and I think it goes in, and I celebrate, and I'm dancing. I'm like, no, you missed.
Oh, I thought it was
so
in.
close.
I thought it was in as well. But yeah, you know what we did? You know, all the base layer, all the base layer animations. So what I mean by that is just the walking, the turning, and then going from walking to jogging to sprinting. They're the more basic ones. And we had to redo all them. So that's been one of the biggest water goals.
Beautiful. 1-0 for Liverpool.
Super authentic. Yeah, no, it's fantastic. You see everything in real time as well when the player scored, how he celebrated as soon as he put it in the back of the net. See the crowds there as well. It's fantastic actually to see the games. I mean, I've been demoing it so much now. It's sometimes nice. I guess when you are playing a really visual game, which is maybe like a shooter or something, which is they spend so much time on the background, but you don't get a chance to appreciate it. I think it's great to watch it.
That is actually a very good point. I think I never paid attention to the people in the background in the football game so far. You know, this is the first time.
Absolutely, no, it's great. I think one of the things that you're seeing here, I mean, hopefully it's coming across as well, is that the pace of the game's changed as well. So one thing that we tried to do is we tried to slow it down. And I think that was one of those risky things, because as a connoisseur, you go, yeah, I want it more real. Yeah, it needs to be more realistic. And then when you play it, it's kind of stuck in the, going through the motions. Players are heavier. The ball has got more error, and sometimes it's not as enjoyable. And that's always a hard balance.
But this is exactly why I played international superstar soccer in the past, because I felt it's more technical. It's more demanding from the player, and that's something I was looking to in the game. You know, and when you say stuff like that, I'm like, oh my god, I want to play it right now.
Yeah.
It sounds like the game I loved, and it sounds like I would like to play it again.
Yeah, I've been a huge fan of PES even before I actually came on board. I like a lot of people, really, and I really love those PS2 days for that, for the, what a save, for those things that you said.
Oh, second try!
Oh, what a save. The goalkeepers are fantastic as well. We've really improved, and we see that in the animation as well, how they react.
They usually kind of jump here, like teleporting, right? And then you don't see this right now.
PES has always been known for that, gameplay feel, right? And it's kind of hang its hat on the fact that we're the number one in gameplay. Off the line. And sometimes, you have to really take care in the visual and the animation, because in many ways it adds to the experience as well. And I think the work that we've done with the animation system is like a long time coming, and I think that's why we can safely say to people, hey, it took us 3 years to do, and they go, yeah, you know what, you can tell. If you put this and 17 side by side, massive gap there. If you put them side by side, it's two completely different games in terms of how you play, how it moves, and how it looks.
And what I really love is that it's the infancy of this, as you mentioned, the first in the trilogy of the upcoming games you guys. So, I mean, as good as it looks now, I know you guys have got so much in store for the future about how to tweak things and make things move, but it already looks so damn good.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you slap yourselves on the wrist and be like, nah, we can go ahead and do this.
This is it.
For each and every year, though, as the game progresses.
So what do you want to improve on, actually, with the full release?
So, well, this is the demo build that that everyone's playing right now, or at the show. Everyone at the show next week, everyone can play it because we're going to bring out a demo on Xbox 360, Xbox One, PS3, and PS4, and obviously the game will be coming out on PC, Steam as well. But actually, in terms of this build to launch, I don't like getting into that discussion about what percentage it is, etc., etc. What I would say to everybody who downloads the demo is judge it. Judge the demo. This is the game that you're going to buy. There's going to be improvements for sure for us in terms of there'll be bugs, there'll be that last-minute polish to make everything look a little bit nicer. But I don't want you making the purchase based on some promises that I've made on a Twitch stream. I want you to play the game and judge it. And if I'm positive when people play it, they'll fall in love with it. I mean, this is why we are talking about PES after 20 years. This is the reason why playing the game. And I think if it comes to other factors, like if you buy your game for licenses, I think you know where you're going. So this is the main reason why people love PES and play PES, because we care about these things. Now, in terms of the visuals going, moving forward or how we improve, as we see that header just go wide, nice effort, is mainly working with the new consoles and the new system. So one thing that we announced here at the show is the Xbox One X.
The X gonna give it to you.
Exactly. Actually, you say that after E3, people were asking me, "Hey Adam, are you going to work on Xbox?" We had no idea. After the show, all credit to Microsoft. Definitely, they came to us. They explained the system. They've been helping us and working with us. I'm sure it's not just Konami. I'm sure it's a lot of companies that they've gone to. And super fast, from E3 to Gamescom, we've managed to make sure that when the Xbox One X launches, PES will be available in 4K.
Oh, wow.
So it's fantastic news. And, as we move forward, everything is never say never. You don't know what Sony are doing. Obviously there's a Switch that everyone needs to take notice of now as well. It's something that we've had to take notice of, and we're talking about it all the time. So, yeah, there's a lot of things go.
Sorry.
That's amazing, by the way. That was a phenomenal volley as well. It's just a brilliant. Again, the fluidity of the ball coming in, how the player saw it drop over his shoulder. I don't want to knock last year's game. I think it's really easy to do, but it gave you an experience. And I think with PES 18, it's about getting you lost in the experience in a different way. It's more realistic. You're seeing the players moving much more naturally, and it's just more fluid, as you mentioned before. The motion, the players, how you just kicked it outside the foot.
That was really cool.
Little things like how the keeper dived with the right hand, rather than the wrong hand, things like that. I think this is what's taking PES to the next level now. And I think we need to focus on that. One thing that I did want to add, though, as well, in terms of licenses, is that we are adding a ton more as well. We've got a lot of the exclusives in Latin America, Corinthians, the Flamengo, Colo-Colo over in Chile. But one thing in Europe is that we're doing is that we've gone and signed a lot of the teams in the European leagues like Turkey, Greece, Belgium and things like that, where we've gone in and we signed the 3 or 4 top teams in those leagues. So we've got more licenses than ever, on top of the things like the French league, the Dutch league. We've got all the English teams as well in there, in terms of all the real players. Oh, that's a pen. Yes. Was it inside, outside the box?
I looked in.
Although I have to say that I love the versions without any licenses as well.
Of course, yeah.
They had their own charm.
Yeah, exactly. And when you saw, obviously Beckham just outside maybe. When you saw Beckham, he was Beckham. Roberto Larcos. You knew who they were. But you had the feeling that you were controlling that play, and I think that's what's the magic part of PES.
Mm-hmm. So you were talking about actually few different platforms that you come with the game, right? And I wanted to ask, is there like cross-platform gameplay available to it?
Not right now, no. Actually, it's something that we might consider in the future. But if I look at how certain companies have had difficulty in making that happen, there was a story recently about Rocket League wanting to go cross-platform. I think Sony didn't make it happen and stuff. So I think in terms of making it happen on our side, we probably have the systems to actually do it with the fact that now PC, Xbox One, and PS4 are all Fox now. Because last year the PC version wasn't. It was kind of a hybrid between PS3 and PS4. But it's something that we definitely would look at if the desire was there. One thing that we've actually done is we brought in a new 3v3 mode, which is going to be actually our new headline thing for PES League. So we are going to do still 1v1, but our big esports competition where we give away loads of prizes, we actually have brought in the 3v3. So you and two of your friends can actually compete for really big prizes. Nice effort.
Trying to make it happen.
Really interesting concept.
I think, well, the 3v3 obviously, as you know, is really big in esports, right? And then you have the football games, which are 1v1. And it's kind of bringing them together. We did an online beta at the end of July. We had millions of people playing, and we had a huge chunk of those actually play the 3v3. And the feedback was incredible. We had a service stress test, and it went really well. We're really excited because we actually only announced that 3v3 was coming into PES League at the show. Oh my goodness!
Wide right! Unbelievable!
We need to get this guy in for commentary. It's fantastic. But yeah, so I think with the whole, with having 3v3, we've also brought in stat balancing, which is nice. So if you're not a fan of a top team and you want to play with your team, you can go online and do stat balancing. So even if you play Barcelona, it's all about skill because everyone's rated the same. Nice. We've brought in My Club as well, which is where you can sign your individual players, where you can get these legends. And we've brought that into PES League as well. There's a bunch of features and a bunch of ways to play PES now. So something actually from the PS2 days that you might remember was random selection mode. Where you could pick 3 or 4 teams, and then it would give you a random selection of players from those teams. We brought that back for PES 18 awesome. As well.
This brings like a replayability of a new replayability mode basically for the game. So that's pretty cool. But what I wanted to get it back for a little bit is the 3v3 mode that you mentioned, right?
Okay, yeah.
That brings a new level to the sports, esports and football basically, right? That's incredible. That has so much potential. So it's really cool you guys do that.
Well, we're really excited for 2 reasons. You mentioned the esports angle. I think it's really key because one thing that we do really well in this mode is that at the end of every match, every player gets a ranking. So they'll be rated on their passing performance, if they made certain runs, if they got an assist, if they scored a goal, and everybody has their own ranking system within this team ranking system as well. Now you can create clans. You might have obviously only 3 people per match, but you can have a clan of 20 people, and for each match you can swap and change.
Oh, that's cool.
You can have situations where clans are stealing your players because they can see the highest ranked players in each clan. It's really exciting potential, and we are quietly optimistic. We're based on the data that we got back from the online beta. It's incredible, and it's going to take off in a big way. But obviously it's PES as well, so PES needs to take off with it. So it's kind of going together, and I think it'll help us. The second reason why I'm excited about 3v3 is, okay, if I'm sat on a couch of people now, there's 3 of us, maybe if you were there, maybe 2 of you didn't play PES, and only 1 of you did. You want to play what your friends are playing. So it might not be your first choice, but it's not a bad choice. Okay, my friends are playing it, I'll play it. This allows you to bring people and play PES together. And I think that's the magic of PES actually, and it's always been, even when I was at uni, growing up, it was me and my friends around, sat on the same couch playing PES. And the good thing is the 3v3, you don't need to be on the same couch. You can have 1 person sat on the couch, 2 people online, 2 people on the couch, 1 person online, or 3 online. It's a lot of variety. It's going to get people together, playing together, and it could be a game changer.
It's
for sure.
Definitely a social improvement, because nowadays almost no games have like in-game guilds, in-game communications. There's no way of building up a good community apart from the MMOs basically, right? But sports games, that's actually incredible that you implement this social aspect into this game.
Yeah. It's kind of amazing, and I bet a lot of people are looking at it like, oh yeah, obviously. I think I saw NHL mention something about they're doing a 3v3 or something like that. But then one thing that you have to go to like a deeper level. And when you start ranking each individual player based on their ability after every match, it's not just the whole fact that it's a team of 3, it's individuals within that 3 that are getting rewarded for a style of play. So you sacrifice more, you make off the ball runs more because you get rewarded, you tackle back, you keep your position because you know even though you want to double up, if you vacate your position, you'll get marked down. There's all these things that come into it. It's all tactical, where it's like you care about your team winning, but you also care about your own individual score as well. And I think that's very important in that mode, to make it just more than another 3v3 or a 2v2, which everyone's been doing for a while. But this 3v3 and the way it's been implemented, I think, is really the magic of it.
I think for something like esports as well,
yeah,
it brings that element of loyalty to the squad. Like if you're the best player on the team and somebody's like all of a sudden searching for another squad mate and they're like 2 of the top guys on one team and they're sort of looking for a third, you're like, do you stay with the squad that you came with? Or do you, do you sell out? Do you just abandon your squad and be like, sorry guys?
Well, actually as well, if you think about it in terms of watching esports, when I do get a chance to watch it, watching a 3v3 match is so much more entertaining. I mean, watching 1v1 in a certain type of sport, you can watch it and you can see the skill level, but the requirement of 3 people to be in tune together, when you're watching things like Dota and things like that, groups of people are playing certain things, sometimes you get enthralled a little bit more. I personally do as well, especially when I'm not into the genre, I'll be honest with you. But it allows me to see how people work together and the skill sets coming together.
Well, it's more important that you have the synergy between the players than the individual skill, because you win by, playing as a team.
Exactly, yeah.
And that's important in football, I would say, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think, what a save.
Look at that.
Horrible defense, though.
Yeah.
I think he's put it on baby level, just to look good in front of everybody, for sure.
That goalie's not on baby level. That goalie is on pro.
So holding the controller is the head of communications, right? He's communicating with us through the gameplay.
Yeah, exactly. I think he's angry. He's just all attack. Yeah, he's all attack.
So what are you most excited for players of PES, or for new players to PES, to experience for the first time in PES 18?
I think it's really nice for us to talk about this 3 years in the making. So I think for me, it's exciting for me to, I do it every year. I try to get people playing PES. And I think it's really nice for me this year to promise a completely different change. Usually I'll talk about key changes to the gameplay features, key changes to modes. But it's amazing for me to say to you, no guys, this is a completely brand new game. And I think it's really, again, exciting that we've got a demo coming out next week, so everybody watching on Twitch right now can actually call me out straight away in just 7 days, not going to forget this, and they'll be able to play the game and say yes or no. And it's really confident, we're really confident, in terms of having the game out so soon, straight after Gamescom, letting everyone play it and letting them get their hands on it and seeing it. And I think that's the most exciting thing for us, is being able to offer a new experience.
In the beta that comes out next week, 1 week away from today, is it just going to be 1v1? Is there going to be 3v3 elements in the beta as well?
There is a 3v3 option, but it's offline. So
okay.
it's going to be 3v computer on the PS4, because they've got this 5-pad restriction per console.
Yeah,
he's through!
He's got
Messi's tattoos you can see there as well. We've proper 3D scanned player's body.
They don't look messy at all.
Nice.
Yeah.
And obviously when the game comes out, Neymar will not be at Barcelona. Unfortunately.
No.
But it will be a much richer club. Right?
Exactly. I think, and he'll be much richer as well.
Must be nice.
Must be nice. Must be nice. But yeah, I think one of the, in terms of being here at the show as well, and actually being able to present it to people and show the game off, I think it's amazingly, I think it's exciting to see the reaction from people. I think it's great to listen to you and for you to talk about the past and, you to notice the changes. But in general, seeing everybody come into the booth, who usually comes, to be fair, because they represent,
off the pole! Defense holds up, sorry.
No, but it's great to see the reaction. you know. And I think, you know, PES has been there. It's always been the fighter, and it's always been, you know, trying to get into the limelight. And a few years ago, we won the Gamescom Sports Awards for a few years in a row. And just coming back here now with a lot more confidence and being able to show people something new, and the people who obviously have been playing PES as well, still have a lot to shout about, a lot to support as well. So it's a really good time for us. And I'll be honest with you, that Beckham announcement was crazy.
Yeah.
We got so many people that we've never been able to reach before suddenly speaking to us, talking to us. Loads of people mentioning to me like, oh, you need to let me get him in the game. We've had footballers contact us. We've had famous artists contact us. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. So I think that's the kind of things that PES needs to do, those kind of announcements, just to draw that attention in. Not forgetting, back at E3, we announced Usain Bolt.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember, we got Usain Bolt in the game.
Which, I mean, it's like, what? It's like they announced this crossover, and I'm like, wait, Usain Bolt?
Yeah, that's the one.
The same one, right?
That one, yeah.
Where he's just sprinting downfield, and you just stop,
But
like you just don't even do
You
anything.
usually don't see him on the field, though.
No, exactly.
It's true.
Oh, no, you're right. Well, I mean, I think it's a case of him being a big fan of football, and we were at a football match, and we were literally sat side by side with it, you know, not with him, sorry, with his team, and they just mentioned, you know, oh, where you from, etc. And we started talking, and he just wanted to be in the game. And literally a couple of weeks later, we were in Jamaica doing a 3D scan, and he does have aspirations to actually start playing football. He's been rumoured to have some trials with some French second division teams.
So now you can test him out in the game to see, you know.
Exclusive.
Right?
That's the whole reason.
I mean, do you have to, like, break the speed stat for him? Like, you know, like, he's
He will be
102.
110.
Yeah, right? He's like 108. Like, wait, it only goes up to 100, but I guess he's like, 125.
This one goes to 11, right? And just, that's about it. But if Jordan could have played golf, right? So
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, he will be the fastest player in the game. I think it would be really weird if he wasn't. But everything else, other stats, other abilities.
Can he dribble, you know?
But
It's
with
like-
speed comes great responsibility,
It's true.
right?
I mean, that's very true. Like, can he run that fast while kicking a soccer ball?
Exactly.
Is, you know, the most important stat.
Everything is balanced in terms of his abilities. Also, in his availability in the game as well. One thing that we've said is that we're only going to have him as a pre-order incentive, which means everyone who pre-orders, they will definitely get him. After launch, no Usain. He's not coming back.
That's how fast he's going to be gone.
He's going to be... Oh my
He's going to be out
goodness.
of the box
Yeah.
suddenly.
He's like, he's here, pre-orders, and then...
Great. But you know what? I mean, it is funny because when we were going through his stats with his agent and we were having a conversation, we were trying to ask him what kind of footballer style do you want to be representing the game. He used words like Ibrahimovic. He used words like Ribéry, mixture of Robin, and we were like, okay, this is going to be a difficult one. But we have managed to obviously make him super fast, but everything else much more balanced, so he won't break the game for sure. Because that's what a lot of fans, when they heard about it, a lot of people were sort of questioning the football nature of it for sure, especially our PES fans. But I think it's a case of making sure that everyone understands that it's just brought so much attention and buzz to PES, and we have taken care in how he's represented and obviously his availability as well.
Is he only as fast as he is for about 5-6 seconds a match?
It's like a cheetah.
You know, it's like he can run really fast, but only for like 10 seconds tops. And then he's like, oh, that's it. I mean, that's what he, right? He's known for the burst of speed. He can run in like 5-6 seconds. Like, he's great.
Well, you know, there's one problem. After he will just run for 100 meters, he will stop immediately,
Exactly.
right? It's just, that's the mark.
He like goes to score a goal, but it's like 110 meters away.
Yeah,
And it's like finish line, cross pad.
That would be crazy funny for a moment if that was in the game.
Only in the beta. Only in the
Yeah,
beta.
just in the beta.
How long is the football, like,
The
you
pitch?
know, it's 200 meters?
The whole pitch?
Yeah.
I think it's around, isn't it 150 or 160 or something, usual
See,
size?
so he can't run from goal to goal.
Oh, I
without
see
getting
your
tired.
point. I see your point, yeah.
You know?
He's going to have to
He's gonna have
manage
to
it.
yeah, he's gonna have
He's going to
to.
play striker, right? And so he can get there.
Wouldn't it be
Yeah.
great if he just wanted to be a goalie? Like the fastest man in the world. He's like, what position would you like to play in PES? He's like, goalie.
He'll be just zoning, basically.
That would be amazing. But you know, one thing about him in the game, though, I'm not sure if you've seen the trailers, but the 3D scanning of him, it is on point. And we actually did all the motion captures for all the new celebrations. And then once we signed him, we said we have to get his signature celebration.
The Usain dab?
Absolutely. And we actually went and did a separate mocap just for his celebration, and it's in the game. So when you score with him, you will get that. So we've got a lot about Bolt in the game for sure.
I mean, that's cool. I love that it's thinking outside the box. Like, I wouldn't expect to see Usain Bolt on the pitch in a video game at all.
You wouldn't say.
But if you could get anyone else in the world of stardom, celebridom, who would you want to put in PES?
Okay, you're going to judge me big time. You're going to judge me.
Okay, I will. Yes.
Let me say the name first, and then let me explain. Okay. Justin Bieber.
Oh my God. Okay.
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 Well, now we have to explain.
I want to hear the explanation.
He's being respectful. Okay. The reason is actually when Neymar was there, Neymar and Justin are really good friends.
Of course, because, you know.
Right, and it must have been 6-7 months ago, Justin went and trained with Barcelona. Actually trained with Barcelona. And the guy was incredible. I'm not joking. You have to watch the videos. He was pinging in penalties into the top corner with his left foot, wrong foot, right foot. And everyone was like, just watching him like, what's going on here?
He's legit on the field.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Who knew?
Anyway, you said celebrity, and I'm linking it to one of our partner teams. It's a thin thread, but I found something. But yeah, I think it would be great to work with people like that a lot more. I'm being serious in terms of being able to, you know, as long as we look after the core, as long as we look after the game, and we make sure that we are doing big deals like Beckham. Also, Romario from Brazil, he's going to be exclusive in PES as well. That was huge news. So we've got, you know, as long as we look after those things and fans don't go, you know, you're doing things which aren't true to PES, or it's kind of not football, and PES has always been known for being true to football.
Sure, yeah.
As long as we look after the fundamentals, I think we're fine.
Well, if you end up with two teams of celebrities, just, you know, like a celebrity death match, that would be actually pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
You have like, I don't know, Rolling Stones and Aerosmith, and they will be having like, you know, like 10 meters sprint. It will be pretty cool.
And then they have to jam out, and then midway through the pitch, they have to grab an instrument, play something, and then go out.
Yeah, it's a brand new way to classify legends, I guess. You could use
rock
legends.
Like historical legends.
Instead of a football, you have a rock.
Yeah.
Right?
Brilliant. So that's the
future of PES.
That's after this 3-year cycle.
Like I said, 3-year plan.
So 2021 PES. We're going to get that to go down. But where can people find out more about the beta, and where can people find out more about PES 2018?
For PES, just go to Facebook, official PES, on Twitter as well. PES is going to be coming out on the 14th of September here in Europe on PS4, PS3, Xbox One, 360 and PC. Demos next week. Please download it. Please let us know what you think. We're sure you're going to love it.
Adam, thank you so much.